living is you can't keep up no matter what job you have. So this is another thing we have to teach, that people are more open than ever before, and I'll explain. They don't know the power of duplicating themselves. They don't know this concept that we all know, but they're really eager. So, Rosa, not only are people open to listening about their health than ever before, but they're also more open. I've never seen this. When you say, would you be interested in making more money? Do you want another stream of income for your household? I can't get hardly anyone to say no. Before they'd say no to me in Montague. Now they're like, yes, what do you have? And it's so easy to talk to somebody about making more money because they want, and they can't afford to start a business because it costs too much. They can't afford to, they don't want to go learn. And, if you want to go to insurance or if you want to do real estate, you got to have all these tests in school. Here, you just get in. Let's go. Right? So that's a little insider information, because a lot of people that haven't been doing any networks before, because Johnny and I know that's why it took me a year. I got to find the right technology, the right product, because my reputation is on the line, and there's not many out there. It's hard to find. And because this is his life calling, it shouldn't even be in a network. It's that good. So anyways, I asked Brian, not only do you want your stem cells reactivated, do you want to make more money? So now he tells me yes and yes.
Yes.
When I hear this, I'm going to send him, this is it info. Now that's in English, but we also have it in Chinese. This is it info. And that lets them do the research on the product. And then I say, do the research, but then I'm going to send you my link for you to sign up. And I tell them, at least get on an advanced package. I pick the premium. The premium is the best package to get. But if they can't afford it, Rosa, what I love about this company is that if they can't afford it, they can upgrade and they just pay the difference. So you don't have to, how some networks, if you don't get the biggest package, you lose all out. You can never get it. That's not how this works. So we don't have to pressure them. They can come in as they want, but make sure they get on subscription or auto ship, because, in Montague, it's the same way. You got to be on it to make money. But I guide the people what to do. But that's my pitch. Stem cells are going dormant. Are you concerned? Do you want them to be reactivated? Do you want your brain stem cells, your heart stem cells active? Yes. And then there's a lot of money. Do you want to make money? And then I send them both things, the info site and your link to sign them up. And that's all I've been doing to make $12 million. That's how much I made. I'm not bragging. Any of you that are Christians on here tonight, we prayed for a year. My pastor said to me, when you have something this big, okay, you can't take the credit, because I can't. How can I take the credit that 100 of my friends have made $1 million or more? I've made 12 million, and we have this technology and this opportunity. We haven't even started. That's not I can't take the credit. I got to give God the glory and say, hey, this is a blessing from God. So now I'm so excited to be working with everybody here. I will say this much. Rosa, have you ever done a network before?
I've done the Vivo and the Atomy one. Yeah.
Okay. I want to tell you that, Brian, I have never seen a network marketing company that explodes so easily without you having to go. It's like today, we got over 20 people on, okay? Normally, the reason why I've been to Kuching 27 times is because in order to get one person, I got to fly to Kuching, because it's so difficult to talk about. This is so simple that I call one friend. Most of my friends, Rosa, never succeeded in networking that I started with, okay? Now my friends that know how to do a network are waking up and they're like, oh my gosh, tell me, let's go. So it's going to explode. But my friend live in Australia, he never succeeded in a network. I knew him because he was in a network with me. Remember when Montague went to Mint, Brian? Montague Mint? They changed the name, all right? Or they changed whatever they did. But he was there, but he learned a little bit from me, but he never succeeded. So I call him in Australia. He starts building. Australia is the #1 momentum country in all of Asia Pacific from my friend, Mario, who lives in Australia. Okay. Now and I've never been to Australia for LifeWave yet. That's incredible. My friend Paulo Alves, he lives in Portugal. He's like Johnny and me we're like brothers, me and Paulo. He says no, but he watches me. Then after a year, he says yes, he's only been building it for 1 year, and he's the #1 income earner in all of Europe. Lifeway has been open in Europe for over 10 years, and he's the #1 him and his wife are the #1 income earners in all of Lifeway in Europe. So that tells you whatever we're teaching is working. Brian, it's very simple. 20 right, 20 left, okay? And then help people go 2 right, 2 left. It's just like Star 500. You just help the people, help everybody get 2 people and break managers. Even the new plan is still a manager. 1 star manager is 1 right, 1 left, which I like because it's easier. Once you get 1 star, then we go 2 star, which is 2 right, 2 left. So it's the same. The strategy, what I've been building is the same in the new plan. It's just that they're going to give us more money, more options. It's a little more, there's a little more to it because there's 9 ways. But remember this. Okay, Rose, I want to tell you this because if you want to make money, you need to understand this is very important and it's very difficult for Asians. So I'm just going to tell you, okay?
Build more than 3 lakhs, Asia.
I'm gonna talk that in a second, but I just want to tell you the concept of what you say to people. Okay. Okay. When I talk to people about the X39, I just tell them what I just said right now. I do not get into all the details of every single, like, I don't, if you had David Schmidt on here, he could tell you every single thing about this patch, the frequencies and the everything that's about it. I don't do that because people don't, it's too much for them to grasp. They can't understand it. It bores them. They fall asleep. It's too much information. Okay. So you got to keep that light. But Brian, it's the same way on the comp plan. You can't get too detailed or the person, we lose them. So I only teach the strategy, 20 right, 20 left. What do you do first? You got to get 1 right, 1 left. Help somebody, then put 2 right, 2 left. Now help one of them put 1 right, 1 left, and then 2 right, 2 left. You see what I mean? It's more simplicity is how you're wanting to come on here and say, how in the world did you make $12 million in 30 months? And I'm teaching you, I kept it simple. All right. But you can see, Rosa, I've been in for 34 months. You can hear my passion. When you have passion, people want to attract.
Yes.
Okay. So on the site, Rosa, this is an info. That's as much information. Okay. I started down on my luck 34 months ago and I sponsor 1 person. Now we have 400,000 people on our team. Okay. And I sponsor them all using that thisisit.info.com site. And if you go on the site, Rosa, and you scroll down, you'll see a whole section on doctors. All of those doctors. And here's one of them. One of them said, I've been in medicine for 40 years. This is the biggest breakthrough I've ever experienced. So this is huge. I mean, if a doctor says that and we get to promote it, that's huge. But I wanted to say every one of those doctors is only start since I start. They're all on my team. They're none of them before. None of them, Lifeway's been around for 20 years. None of them were with us. They're only on our team. And there's another doctor called Dr. Stillman. He's the 3rd video. I do an interview with him. Very interesting. He says he was skeptical about the X39, but his patients were telling him about it, and he heard what was going on. So he has these very expensive machines. It's in the interview, $200,000 machines, and he said the X39 is giving him better results than the machine. So it's very interesting what we're hearing. But that website has the case studies. It has 100+ testimonies. So everything is on there. Okay, everybody. We've made 2 websites. One is This Is It Info and This Is It Team. The This Is It Team site teaches how to business the system. Okay. Now they're in Chinese, but they're really your sites. I'm giving them to you, and my daughter is the one that helps me do it. She already has been working with Johnny. So what we need when you get to the doctor section, Rosa, when you get some Chinese doctors that see what we have our hands on, we want to have them put their camera, like the iPhone or anything, and let them tell their story about what they believe in the X39 technology. and then we'll put that on the website, because right now we only have American doctors speaking Chinese. So it'll give us a little more credibility as we build the Chinese community with people that speak.
We will do it. We will do it.
Okay, and then
Commit to
the
do
other
it.
thing is that as you get testimonies, Johnny, make a note of this, somebody, okay? You notice that there's a whole section, Rosa, when you go there, it's on the top of the page. It says case studies or testimonies. So not only do you have the home page, you got case studies and testimonies. When you go to the testimonies, there's hundreds, but they're all from America, because that's where I've been building. Because Johnny is never, I mean, I have to admit, when I built Monavie, I only built in America, and then it exploded around the world to the point where it was wild in Malaysia. Okay. But it's very interesting that, Brian, you know this in networking. I told you this before, but let the other people hear this. That normally in networking, America is like got the biggest potential to build, but it's not easy to build in America. The people are very tough. But if you have if you can have the #1 country, which is America, it was in Monavie too, and it is here too. That's a lot of credibility around the world, because everyone that's a leader in networking knows that if you could, because what do they mostly do? You have an American company open up and they go to Indonesia. You know what I mean? Because they know they can get the Indonesians, but they can't get the Americans. The fact that you get the Americans have the #1 country volume-wise and momentum in all of LifeWave, that is very powerful for around the world and the leaders. So I just want to give you a little more insight. When I first started, the #1 country in volume and momentum was Japan. And my wife and I take it from them in 60 days, and they never get it back. That's why I know nobody in Asia knows what they're doing. Rosa, this is your moment. Okay, now, is there any other questions, Johnny, you might have about that before I go to the whiteboard?
I have a question about this. How it is not a question, more to what is the position of this opportunity in the Asia, in the APEC, Asia Pacific, and what is our position, our privilege in this market with our with our Steve this expertise and your testimony, success testimony in US in
I
LifeWave.
think you're asking me, what is the potential? Okay, so I am confident that they haven't even started in Malaysia and throughout all of Asia. They just opening up Indonesia. Me and Johnny wanted to open up Indonesia and Monavie. They never were able to do it. They're opening it up. They just opened up South Korea. But here's the potential, Johnny. You know the South Koreans. They're go-getters. They know how to build a network. Okay. Do you know that they have a beautiful office in South Korea? My Australia team doesn't have no office, and South Korea just opened up, but Australia had nothing before I start. It's like this, flat. Okay. Now it's the #1 momentum country in all of Asia Pacific, and they do 4 times the volume. So Johnny knows Dr. Chu. I believe he's the best general manager. He's like the vice president of all of Asia Pacific. I believe he's the best I've ever experienced in network marketing in Asia. Because Brian and Rosa, you know, it's not easy to be for corporate to have the honest and corporate person with integrity. And Johnny has met with Dr. Chu, and Dr. Chu just told me that Australia is doing 4 times more volume than Korea. That's embarrassing. I'm sorry, but I mean, it's wide open for every single one of you in Asia. If you take it, like Rosa, you could tell that my wife and I take it serious. Like, okay, Johnny, somebody called one of my friends. She's at the highest rank. I called her up and said, hey, I've got this technology that I'm launching. It reactivates your stem cells. And I said, X39. She said, oh, I've already heard of X39. I said, you did not hear it from me. And now they're at the highest rank, making $50,000 a week. You see what I mean, Brian? That's the kind of passion that I have since I start. She was the second person I call. Johnny, because for 20 years, the company has been working mostly with doctors. One of my very, very best doctor friends who's helped me with many health issues with my family, best friend. I call him. I say, I have a technology, reactivate your stem cells, X39. He said, oh, Steve, don't waste your time. Me and my doctor friends have tried that and it won't work. You'll never win at that. I said, hey, Dr. Ginchi, I prayed for this. Watch me. So like you're going to have some people, you know, Rosa, how people are, but use what I did. I didn't let them stop me. So this is what's happened. This is, you know, not many people said it, but I'm just saying that from the time I start, I have this same, because I did my research and I could see that this technology, there's nothing like it. Nothing at all like it. And it's so simple. Like, remember in Montague, we're carrying around cases of juice. It's like a postcard. I mean, come on, you can't get any easier than this. I want to tell you one other thing too. If any of you are, for all of you that are leaders, that's right, I believe all of you are. That's
big leader, great leader.
Well, hey, even if you're not, you're going to be one with us. This is your day that you're going to be your leader. Now, watch. Me and Johnny have won many, many free trips in our industry. Okay. LifeWave, when I first start, they only have one free trip and they only let 100 people go. Now, a year. Now they have 5 free trips and as many people that qualify can go. Because I said to them, only 100. I mean, my friends all want to go. Even if you got to raise the bar, tell us what we got to do, we'll win. So the last trip we go on, over 890 people. Okay, so, but I wanted to tell you this is very interesting. When I go on these free trips from the other network companies I've been in, you know, when you go on a cruise, Johnny's been with me on a cruise. Okay, so you're on the cruise. Most of the people are not in your network. You know, if there's 5,000 people on the cruise, 1,000 of them are in LifeWave. Okay. I never seen so many people sign up on these vacations of the people that are at the resort or on the cruise. It's amazing. And I asked my wife, Gina, I said, why do you think? And she said, I believe because we're wearing the technology and it's not threatening. Like, you know, well, what do you do? And I show, this is what I'm doing. I'm wearing the patch, you know, and they're like, oh my gosh, that's that easy? Yes. And your stem cells are going dormant. So the simplicity of the message, stem cells, and I'm wearing it. You know what I mean? And Rosa, you can wear the X39 anywhere on your body and it works. Okay. So that's why I love the X39. It's so simple. You have something with your shoulder, put it there. You have something with your neck, put it there. Anything, knee, put it on your knee. Okay. It's so simple. This is like the simplest thing, simplest message you ever have when you're talking to people. But I think that's why it's so easy to sponsor people. So any other questions before I do the whiteboard?
And another very motivating question is about Steve, how many millionaire per year and 1 million per year the leader you expected for these 3 years to become created in the Asia Pacific if we really all out to do LifeWave?
Hey, you know how Asians are. If in 30 months I can create 100 millionaires in LifeWave, we should in the next 24 months at least create another 100. Now, that's not counting all the other people. Because if you're in Malaysia, you know, if you make an extra 5,000, 10,000 a week, even 2,000 a week is going to change their life. That's not a million. But still, if you create 100 millionaires in 24 months, because I remember in Montague, I don't know how many diamonds and people succeeding that were on Johnny's team. So it's going to be wild what's going to happen. So I believe we can have in 24 months at least 100. Okay, all of you, we got 30 of you right now, so we need 70 more that are going to make $1 million more. Okay? And then we have many other people that are making less than that, but change their life, and then they're moving.
Okay, that's good. That is very motivating.
By the
We
way,
are all up for
one of
it.
the main reasons I love Malaysia. Johnny knows I love coming to Malaysia because everybody's heart is so pure, and so many of you speak English because I don't speak no other languages. So, you know, it's very easy to work there. So you can count on me coming to Malaysia. Johnny knows. I just had a neck surgery because I had so many whiplash falls to become a world champion, and it was really, really bad, my neck. So, but my doctor, I have a new testimony. I just had my like 2-month checkup, and he said that he's never seen anyone heal this fast in his life. And I explained to him the X39, and now he's all excited about it. Oh, by the
Another
way,
point.
Rosa, I want to tell you something.
Okay.
If you listen to Dr. Stillman, that third video, this is very interesting because a lot of people have this issue, and there's a lot of things that can't help them. Anyone with a really bad scar, they can't make it go away. So my friend Dr. Stillman, he tried for many times. A lady got kicked by a horse and had a very bad scar on her stomach. Okay. And he could not get it to go away. Put the X39 on, and within 60 days, they can't find the scar.
Oh,
I know you have a lot
fantastic.
of people in Malaysia that are very, in their mind, they don't like a scar.
Good. And Steve, another point we want to know is how is this Dr. Chu look at our team in Asia? How is the support? The Dr. Chu will support us in Asia because of you.
Very, very good. Yeah. Well, the good thing, the blessing, it's a miracle. Again, I'm not taking the credit, but because Gene and I have won so fast and so big, in networking, the corporate people look at you and they're like, what do you need? And what, they want to make sure that if I need to get a hold of Dr. Chu, I can call him right now in the middle of the night. He'll pick up the phone. So this is very important for all of you because I haven't even gone. Dr. Chu has been begging me to come to Malaysia and build in Asia since I hit the highest rank in 23 days. Okay. But I haven't had the right people to work with. So obviously I want to come to Malaysia, but until I have the right people, I'm not going to come to bless everybody. So now that all of you are in, we are going to tear up Malaysia and any other Asian country you want, because Johnny knows I've been to Taiwan many times with him and working in that 101 building. We're not in China yet, but Johnny and I have been to China together. So I go all over the world. We've been to Indonesia together. We go everywhere. Bangkok, you name it. So Asia, Rosa, every country in Asia is wide open. The problem with Asia is they've been taught, and they're still being taught the wrong way. They're trying to teach people. Now, let me give you a story. Meredith Burkich is the president of Lifeway. When she first come in, she's only been here for a little over a year. So I've been here for almost 3 years, 2.5 years. Okay. So she's been here less than me, but I have experience with her because she was in Jeunesse. But when she was the president of Jeunesse, she didn't get to do what she really knows how to do because the owner didn't let her do the things that needed to be done. But here in Lifeway, David is letting her do what needs to be done. So the first thing she did was say, how can Steve and Gina make up over half of the volume in Lifeway in only 30 months? I must travel to go visit everybody around the world. And she did, and she came home. And she told everyone that the problem with everybody else in Lifeway, except for Steve and Gina's team, is they're ambulance chasers. So here's what that means, Rosa. She said that everyone else in Lifeway is looking for somebody who's sick, about ready to get in the ambulance, or they're walking in a walker, or they're got a cane, and that's the only people they patch. They don't look for anyone that wants to make money. And Steve and Gina, no, they want their stem cells active, but we also want to make money. And that's who we're looking for. And she said that is why nobody in Asia is winning, because they're all about the patch, nobody about the opportunity. And even if they want to make money, Brian, they don't have someone like Johnny or yourself or me teaching them. They don't know how the strategy, Like, look I've already got my whiteboard sitting up here. You can see all the circles, right? All I'm saying is that we don't have to go there yet. I'm just saying that the fact that Johnny knows I'm like him, I can get on a whiteboard and explain it. No one else knows how to do it. You're going to know how to do it after I show you.
Okay, good, great.
Okay, I just got to do one thing. I got to tell somebody something. Hold on. Okay, perfect. Okay, so now, what was that last question you were asking about Dr. Chu? I want to finish. I have
Suppose.
seen somebody. So normally, this is a very good thing for everybody to know because all of you are leaders. So normally in networking, when a company's been around 20 years, they're very connected with the leadership in that country, and it's hard for someone else to break through. But already, I got to ask Johnny because I don't know where it was, but Johnny just got started, and Dr. Chu has already met with him, and they had breakfast together, right, Johnny?
Yes, yes.
Yeah. So he already went to go meet with Johnny because he knows Johnny's connected with me, but still, he is rolling out the red carpet in every country for us to build. Let's start in Malaysia. Let's get everybody in Malaysia, all you leaders making 25,000 a week. Now we can go build everywhere else in the world. I mean, I gave everybody in LifeWave a 20-year head start, and we passed them all up. So I've only been in for 30 months. So that tells you that it's wide open for you because I've only been in for 30 months. Nobody's building in Asia. It's your moment. But Dr. Chu is very on his game, and I love the integrity of him. Okay. So he's incredible. Because this is a little negative, but I need to tell you because I want everyone to know that it's positive in LifeWave, but it's a negative subject. But it's still very on top of every leader's mind. It's in your mind. So this is good to know. And Johnny and I know this. It's very important. It was actually the very first question that I asked David Schmidt. Do you allow product dumping? And he said, absolutely not. Now, dumping has gone a long ways from when me and Johnny built a big way, meaning that when we first building Monavi, the dumping, remember Brian was on the street. There was no social media. There was no internet back then. It was on the street. But now the dumping is online. So David Smith said, absolutely not. Now, here's the key, Brian. You want the philosophy of the company to be against it. You can't, you after, when you know the company says absolutely not, now they have to go fight it and conquer it. Johnny and I know we've been in companies that just turned a blind eye and let them dump. The problem with that is you can never bring in new leaders. Here's why. Because all the leaders that are currently in there is they buy as much product as they want to keep their rank, and then they dump it.
Yes.
But you can, and all the leaders that want to come in the company know they're doing that. So they the company never goes up, and no one ever comes in because they don't want to do it. They don't want to be part of that. So here, they're completely against product dumping, and X39 is registered as a medical device in Malaysia. So the government is helping us stop any online product dumping. Now, Brian, I'm not saying there's none. All we have to do is report to Dr. Chu, and they take care of it. So it happens in America too, but the attorneys and the compliance, they take it down. Now, some of the things are so crafty because some people are smart that you have to take legal action, but they are, with the philosophy of the company is that way, they eliminate it and everyone is terminated. If someone is found dumping online, they're terminated for life. So I love this.
That's good.
So this is very important for everyone to know because Rosa is going to work hard at promoting it, and you can't allow product dumping. But anyways, I want to just, as because I addressed that, if anyone sees any dumping, you just have to report to me because then I send it into the right people, and you could, and when we'll get Dr. Chu's email to everybody, so you could send it to him and me. And Brian, you know how people are. When they see me on the email, then they answer. Okay? So, but I'm not saying that it's completely eliminated, but it's the best I've ever seen in network. So I wanted to bring that up because I'd better to tell you right now, you're all leaders, rather than at least the philosophy. That's very important to know. Now, a last thing I want to tell you about this and the enhancements that's coming for LifeWave, because this is important to know. I think if you haven't, Brian, make sure everybody listens to my talk a couple Saturdays ago, 2 weeks ago, we had a big Saturday
Okay.
training for LifeWave, and I spoke. Okay. And I didn't teach how the plan works. I just taught the philosophy of the company and where they want to go. But these changes are to create a legacy business for all of us. So it's very important for this to happen so that we can have even a stronger company, and all of us can pass this on to our kids. More money on the bottom of the plan. That helps retention. It's very important. Okay. Their philosophy, just, Brian and Rosa and Tenzin, you look like you're ready to go to the top. I can see Tenzin is ready. Okay. I've never been able to work with you, but Tenzin, when you get to know me, we win. Everybody wins. Come on. And Tenzin, the company no one ever heard of. Now it's the #1 momentum company in the entire world of networking, and we have the #1 team that's building the fastest. I don't like to brag. I want to give you two things. We're the #1 fastest growing couple in all of LifeWave. That means we're the #1 fastest growing couple in the entire industry. Okay. That is not, I'm not taking the credit for that. That's why I got to give God the glory. But Tenzin, here's a better stat. Out of the top 20 income earners in LifeWave, top 20, Rosie, you're going to love this too. 15 are on our team. I like that story better than mine. You know what I mean? That other people are winning, not just me. That's, if you're really going to build a network and have a legacy business, you got to have, your friends have to be winning. But all the changes, retention, so that we have people. So they want to reward the people that want to build the business the proper way. And that's where they put everything together. No structure. That is very important. Structure is terrible. And I could go over that. It's on the video, but there's no more structure. You're going to make it easier to cycle because you only have 10% of your lesser legs. So in the binary, the payout will be a lot easier. They're actually paying people in the binary a lot for, like, let's just say I sponsor Tenzin, okay? And he starts taking off. But on the binary, I got to have Brian on the other side to cycle. But what they said now is they said, hey, because we want more people to make money at the beginning, if Steve sponsors Tenzin, we're going to pay him for his volume, even though he can't get the other side going right away. That's amazing. I've never seen that in networking. So that's called the level up bonus or the level up payout. I'm learning all the names, Brian. If I stumble a little bit, it's because it's brand new. They haven't even implemented yet. It doesn't start till August. Okay.
Generation bonus.
Yeah. But because of the rules of networking, they have to tell everybody a couple months ahead of time before they launch. I don't like when you tell them ahead because it causes a little confusion, but hey, it's kind of a good thing because we're all being prepared. So I'll be ready. But they're going to pay 6 generations instead of 3, and they eliminate all the people that are not doing anything. So, like, let's just say I sponsor Aunt Betty and then she sponsors Tenzin. Okay. Well, if Aunt Betty doesn't do anything in the current plan and Tenzin takes it to the top, he's my 2nd generation. But in the new plan, okay, they say, okay, Aunt Betty, you keep ordering, no problem. But because you're not serious, Tenzin is Steve's 1st generation. This is huge. 6 generations and way more money in the payout of the generations. Instead of $6,000, I can make $20,000 from Tenzin. 6 generations deep. That's amazing. They never had what do you call it? Rank advancement bonuses. So now they have $500, $5,000, $50,000, $75,000, and $100,000 bonuses. They never had that before, but many people in networking will run for a bonus like this. I did, So that's all been added. Oh, last thing I want to tell you, Tenzin, since I start, nothing has changed. This was added I don't think, okay, there might be a couple people in Asia getting the bonus, but it is wide open. They never had a profit sharing leadership pool the whole time of LifeWave. So after 19 years, I hit the highest rank. I've been building for 6 months. I tell David, you need to have a profit sharing bonus for leaders. And I told him what it should be. And he came back to me with way bigger money than what I suggested. And all my friends are making so much money from the quarterly profit sharing pool that they pay out every quarter. We've only had 4 checks so far. So it's wide open. They keep adding more money and more ways to help everybody succeed. So I'm blown away by what I'm seeing.
Mhm.
So do you want me to explain what do you have the question? What's the top questions on the new enhancements, Brian, that I can help you with?
Important is let them know about how this one will ensure those who work hard will get the most. Actually, it is a fair and integrated part of the complaint plan. I think that is the very important part.
Yeah. Well,
those who work hard, those who put in more effort will get more, right? Commensurate the income. I mean, have to be commensurate with the effort. That is.
Yeah. Okay. So on a top level, without going through all the plan, that is the main basis of the new enhancement, is to reward the people that are doing the work. Now, with that being said, we still want to be able to enjoy our life. So the way they put it together is they want to reward the people that are putting in the effort, but when you build it properly, you could still, if your family and you want to take a vacation, if something happened like me, I had to have neck surgery, I'm still getting paid what I'm getting surgery on. So it's not like they don't want you to have a fun, adventurous life so that you can enjoy the benefits of putting a successful networking business together, but they got to make sure that you do something a little bit more than just go manager. Like right now, people at manager, we're making $5 million, Brian. So that's not really fair for 4 people. So they're going to reward everybody that puts in the effort, but they're only asking you really to build 2 legs and then one on the side that you can add up volume from all the other legs. That's not hard in networking. That's easy. So that's the philosophy. So, but I also like that I'm telling you that it's still so simple that everybody can have some fun and freedom as well. It's not just like you got to work all the time. And it's so simple that I've been talking now for an hour and 10 minutes and my phone hasn't rang. That's pretty amazing to be making over 100,000 a week and the phone never rings. It's because it's that easy. And they are listening to the system, obviously, that we have, but still, mostly in the network, Brian, you know, your phone is always ringing. Because everybody needs to know. Here, everybody knows what to do, and it's simple. You want your stem cells reactivated, you want to make some money, let's sign you up.
Steve, another thing.
Hey, Rosa, or anybody on here, have you ever lost your keys to your car? You can't find them.
Oh,
Like
yeah, we all have one of those moments.
In America, I used to lose my keys all the time, and I don't know where they are. So when I talk to Brian, if he's a prospect, have you ever gone into a room, like you go up and you walk into a room and say, why am I in here? It's because your stem cells are going dormant. So Brian, if you don't want to sign up with me, no problem. But next time you lose your keys or your wallet, or you forget why you went in the room, remember me, because you need the X39. So, you know, sometimes you just got to leave that little seed. I call it a seed for that person so that, oh my gosh, remember me. Brian, remember me next time you lose your keys. And like, oh my gosh, I can't stand that Steve guy. I got to call him up for the X39. You know what I mean? It's a very, very fun adventure because everybody needs it. Well, last thing, Rosa, if you have a very, very successful business person, okay, I called my friend Jason. I said, Jason, do you know your stem cells are going dormant? No. I said, I have this unique technology called X39 that we can reactivate stem cells, and there's a lot of money. And then he said to me, Steve, do you know that I just sold my company for $60 million? And I said, Jason, that's incredible. Maybe you don't want to make money with me and Brian. But let me tell you something, Jason. Lean forward. You cannot afford to be walking around your city with $60 million in your pocket with dead, dormant stem cells. Oh my gosh, sign me up for the biggest pack. So, Rosa, what's unique about this is not like normally we're saying in all other networks, you're like, oh, Jason, you should use my weight loss or my shampoo or my, skincare. It's not life, it's not like a matter of life or death. Like your stem cells can't be dormant. You need them active. So this is so unique that you can hold your head up and talk to anybody, no matter who they are, about the product.
Mhm.
Okay. Do you want me to go over the whiteboard now?
Yes.
Yes.
Or do you have any more questions?
Anybody have any questions?
I think Tan here have a question on the chat. How to
Okay.
achieve SPD in 1 year
Go ahead.
time?
Go ahead.
So,
Yes, Roger, what is that?
Tan on the chat group,
Okay,
he
just read out.
Tan asked how to achieve SPD in 1 year time.
How
Okay.
to achieve SPD in 1 year
Okay.
time?
Rosa, that's a good question. I'm going to answer it, but I only know how to answer it how I did it because I did it in 23 days.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Okay. Normally in LifeWave, it take everybody 4 years to get to SPD. It take my wife Jean and I 23 days. Now, one of the number one reasons I have to believe is I was down on my luck, desperate. You see what I mean? So my friend Mike Hernandez, he goes SPD in 75 days, but he said he had to act like he didn't have any money, like he was broke, like the mindset. Like if you feel like you got all the time in the world, it takes that long. So you must first of all decide, have urgency. I got to get this done. Now remember, if you know networking, Rosa, the most important thing is speed. Because if you can when you get out of the blocks fast, everyone is looking at you, and then everyone is going to follow the same thing you did. So I have somebody, my second person went SPD in 60 days. Then my other friend Mike did it in 75 days. But since I've been in, I've had people do it in 9 days and 14 days.
Oh,
Okay. So,
Mhm.
but you got to know some people too. It depends on who you are. But I was down on my luck. So Rosa, I want to tell you this. The phone calls that I had to make, and Johnny knows, because everybody quit with me. Because my wife and I stay at the company that buys Monavie for 7 years. Everyone quit. So I have to call somebody and say, hey, Brian, it's Steve. I know it didn't work the last thing we did, but I think I'm on to something now. That's not an easy call.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? So, and I did that in 23 days. Here's how I do it. Okay. I put 20 personals to the right and 20 to the left in the binary. 20 right, 20 left. Okay. I will say that the people that I talk to are people that are not afraid to win. You might be down on your luck like me. Like I was down on my luck and say with Gina, but we know how to win and we're not afraid of it. Does that make sense? Like if it's all, you know how sometimes in Rosa and networking, you sponsor needy people or people that need the business, but they never knew how to win. So you're like, every morning you got to motivate them and encourage them. It's like, you need to find people that want to pass you up. Okay. So 20 right, 20 left of people that are at my level or above, thinking wise, ambition wise. If you're a doctor, who's in your neighborhood? Not patients, because patients look up to you. Give me more doctors or give me business people that are at your level. Okay. And then out of those 23, out of those 20 right, 20 left, we have 1,000 people sign up on our team in 23 days, and we were the highest rank in making 10,000 a week. All we do is teach Go Manager and Break Manager. And I tell them to get everybody on the premium package. Not everybody. About 250 people of the 1,000 were on the premium package. Many of them sign up on the advanced first and they upgrade. So I'm not saying all of them signed up at first, but I told them what to do. Get the premium. If you can't, then get the advanced, but we got to upgrade. Get on subscription. 2 sleeve subscription. In Monavie, if you weren't on 2 cases, you don't make everything in the comp plan. In LifeWave, if you're not on 2 sleeves, then you only make $100 a week. So they need to be on 2 sleeve subscription. So I teach them the right way. But that's all I do. And then I work every day making phone calls, helping everybody go manager, bring managers. But the reason why I put 20 right, 20 left, Brian, is because then I find enough people that want to do it that I don't have to bug anybody. They're bugging me. What do? I'm ready to go. You know what I mean? Now, Rosa, what I suggest is I'm going to work as hard as I possibly can for you. So if you keep leading me to the people, we keep doing these Zooms. Like today, we have 30 people. Next week, we have 60 people. Or maybe we do 3 top leaders or 1 leader. You keep me busy, I'm ready. And Johnny knows I'll work. And as soon as, you know, we have a convention coming up in August. I want to tell you something too. This is a note for Johnny, for everybody. Brian, before I start, LifeWave never has a team that use the event to event strategy. Make a note of this, Johnny. No one ever do this. In LifeWave, the problem with LifeWave for 20 years is David is a scientist, an inventor. So every year he have a get together, but all he talk about is all his inventions. Sometimes he doesn't even talk about his technology. He only talks about, like, the first convention I went to, Johnny, I was in for 45 days. I'm already at the highest rank. And the entire convention, he talked about this drone that he made. You know a drone?
Yes.
So for 2 days, we talk about a drone. Never anything how to build a business. So when I say team event to event strategy, we need that because Johnny and I know we do it in Malaysia and I do it in America, is that you have to teach the team what to do and how to do it, but they never do this. So we're the first couple, me and my wife, to ever do this. And we only have 2 so far. This is going to be the 3rd one coming up in August 8th through the 10th. And you can come in person. It's going to be in Orlando, or you can watch virtually. I've never translated in Chinese. I translated in Spanish, in Polish, Portuguese, but I never do it in Chinese. So we could do it in Chinese, Johnny, but we got to have people, you know, we need at least 100 people. But Rosa, nobody ever do this. And I'll send you, I've already sent Johnny a couple, recaps, but they are so powerful. Meredith Burkich is going to speak. This is going to be in August. David Schmidt is going to speak. Other people from corporate. I have special guest speakers teaching on how to conquer fear. Okay. Unique things that everybody needs. So that's going to be taught. But that's very interesting that nobody ever had this in all of LifeWave until we start. Because everyone knows in networking that if you don't have big events, you're not going to have the momentum that you want. So the company doesn't, they have their own, but they don't teach you how to build the business. Good. So Rosa, I want to give you a couple more things. Okay, I've been in for 34 months and I'm still working and helping everybody win and succeed. I mean, I just had surgery. Johnny knows, and I'm already here helping everybody. Oh, you guys win. So you have to do it for a season. Brian, you know that. Now we have 104 SPDs on our team and 25 elites. You might not know what an elite is because they never had an elite before I start, but because so many people hit SPD, David Schmidt said we need another rank because there's too many people hitting SPD too fast. So they made a level called elite for our team. There's other people that are qualified not on my team as well, but I'm just saying that they had to make another rank. But you see, when you have that many people underneath you, we call it solidify. I don't know if you know that word, but solidify means that your business is so big that no matter what, it's going to keep going even if you stop. That's what when you have 100 people at the highest rank, 50 on one side, 50 on the other in your tree, it's not going to stop. You can't stop it. So that's what we want to do. It's going to take about 36 months to do this, but you see, I still have the intensity to help everybody win and succeed. So consistency, everybody, if you're saying, how are they doing it? You can't start and stop. We started now in Malaysia. We got to go all the way. We can't go forward. We can't, go start one day, slow down the next day. We got to keep moving. Now, I don't mean burn yourself out. I just say consistently talk to at least 5 people a day. Better yet, 10. It's hard. to talk to 10 people a day, help them go manage. So it's not just 20 right, 20 left and watch them. When I sponsor somebody that's ready, I take my time. So instead of personally sponsoring somebody right now, I'm helping your team. You see what I mean? So I'm still going to go sponsor somebody, but if I got a group like Rosa wants to do it, I got to zone in and help her win because that's what I'm looking for. That's why I'm putting 20 right and 20 left to find a Rosa. You know what I mean?
Okay, yeah.
And what happens too for that, whoever asked that question is when you go to the highest rank quickly, then everybody else does the same because they all like, oh my gosh, Steve and Gina got there in 23 days. I'm going to do it in 60, in 75. You know what I mean? They're going to go faster and faster.
Hi, Steve.
Okay.
Can you hear me? Hi, Steve.
Just to give you a heads up real quick. Can everybody hear me?
Yes,
I
can
hear
you hear me?
somebody's microphone is moving around. We got to mute them. Okay. Real quick, Brian, I want to tell you something. Until the new plan launches, it's the same strategy, everybody. So when the new enhancement comes to play, it's still going to be the same strategy, but until then, it's the same what we're doing. So I'll give you an example. The only way to build a binary is to put people to the right and people to the left. So the same 20 right, 20 left that we're doing now is what we're going to be doing when we go to the new enhancement because it's still a binary. Okay. Now listen to this. The first goal in LifeWave today, right now, is manager. 2 right, 2 left. That's your first goal. So you want to go manager. And then when I sponsor Brian, I want to help him go manager. So all we really do is go manager and break managers. So from what I see in the tree so far in Malaysia, we don't have enough managers. So not only sponsor people, but you got to help them go manager. They go, you put a manager on the right, a manager on the left. Now you're a director. But that's the exact same way you build a binary and you build a business anyways. They're just going to pay us more money from the binary. Now in the new plan enhancements, what's the first goal? First of all, you got to put 20 right, 20 left because you need to have your options. Then as you're building the business, when I sponsor Brian, now your first goal is to go 1-star manager. So a 1-star manager is 1 right, 1 left. And they have a new rewards program that if you get them on at least the advanced package, but Johnny talks about the premium, which I do, but even advanced, if you're on advanced, Brian, and you put 1 right, 1 left in advance, now you get to participate in the new launch bonus that pays you $25 a week for the next 4 weeks minimum. But as you keep building, you get that for 9 weeks. That's huge. Okay. So now what's the next rank? I'm going to help Brian go 2-star manager, which is another 1 right, another 1 left on an advanced package. And it's only volume. So let me back up a second. The reason why I say advanced, Brian, is because 1-star manager is 750 points. Okay. So you don't even have to put 1 right, 1 left, but that's how you build the business. So I'm teaching you the right way. 1 right, 1 left on an advanced package. If everyone's on advanced, including you, that's 900 points. So 900 points is above the 750. So you qualify for 1-star manager. To go 2-star manager, you only need 1,500 points. No structure. So when you put 1 more right, 1 more left personally, now that's another 600 points because 300 and 300. You've got 1,500 points, and that's what qualifies you for 2-star manager. And now you get paid $50 guaranteed because it's a 4-week rolling volume. So once you're in for 4 weeks. But as you keep building, you get that $50 for the next 9 weeks. That is huge. That's not counting the other bonuses that I was telling you about. That's just the beginning launch bonus, but you only get that for the first 9 weeks. What I love about this, Rose, is we've never had this kind of bonus. The clock is ticking. You only got 9 weeks. So in 48 hours, we're going to get you 1 right, 1 left. Before the end of the week, we're going to get you 1 more right and left. And I have a 21-day plan for the new program already on a PDF. So we can translate this into Chinese, Johnny.
When will this new enhancement plan will be implemented? When will this new complaint be implemented?
Okay, remember, the only problem we have, Brian, is IT. No one knows how long IT takes, but they're saying that the first week of August is when their goal is, which is going to be perfect because my convention is August 8th through the 10th. What a miracle. That timing is perfect. So everything is going to be laid out perfect. And by the way, anyone that wants details on the convention, Brian, you just go to thisisitconvention.com.
Okay.
Rosa, I want to tell you something to save your time and effort, okay? When you build a network, everybody always wants to have like their own brand, a team or whatever. But I want to say this is kind of unique and different than we've ever had in our lifetime, Brian, is the entire, okay, I asked Gina, what should we call our team? And Johnny knows my wife. This lady has got godly wisdom. She is fun. She's witty. She loves the Lord, and she gets wisdom from him. She said, we need to call our team, This Is It.
It's it.
And I will say that all the corporate people, if you start listening, they can't stop saying the three words, this is it, because this is it. This is our moment. This is it, okay? So that's where the name came from. But I wanted to tell you this, that before you try to get creative and make all these names, do this. Everybody knows us. So around the world, if you say, what team are you on? And you say, this is it, you're with Steve and Gina. So you've got credibility right off the bat. If you say I'm an ABC team, they have no clue who that is. Okay? Another thing about winning and networking, Johnny, when I was in Jeunesse and I couldn't sponsor a fish to make $500, I used to always ask the owner, can you tell me somebody who's winning so I can duplicate what they're doing? But they never had anybody winning. They just were moving things around, okay? I build like this, Brian, organically. I call on the phone and I start, just like you put all these people on, I call on the phone and sponsor people and get them on the Zoom, okay? I don't look for big teams of people and try to look for a big fish. I help everybody, okay? So if I was any one of you, I built this organically, Rosa, with nobody coming over because everybody quit. So I would follow. You always want to follow who's winning. If somebody can get to the highest rank in 23 days, follow what they're doing. Once you get to be making 12 million, then you can get creative and come up with whatever you want. But right now, I want to just do what whoever's winning, that's who I'm going to follow. As long as they got integrity, they're honest, they're doing the right thing. Is everything perfect? No, because there's a problem with me, Brian. I never went to school, so I don't know how to spell. I don't know how to do math. I don't know all these kind of things. But I love people, and I want to help them win. So that's a unique thing. And I got a track record. It's not like I got lucky because I've been doing this before. We've only signed up. This is the third time we ever sign up in a network in 37 years. The first time was Amway, and we won. We succeeded in our late 20s and our early 30s, my wife and I, but they didn't pay you very much money, but we learned a lot. The second time was Monavie. We made 50 million. We helped our team create 174 millionaires, and then they were sold. So I never signed up in Jeunesse. I just was sold to them, okay? And then here, we're doing the same thing that we did in Monavie. It was a $100 million company in Monavie. We took it way out past $1 billion. We're doing the same thing here, but we're going to go to $4 billion this time. So just giving you a little insight to just stay zoned in. It's better if you don't have to worry about nothing. You just follow along. Let's go.
Just follow the blueprint.
Yeah, follow the blueprint. Rosie, it's a little humble because you want to create all this stuff in your own thing, but if it makes sense, let's just get you to the making the money, and then we can change things if you want. And by the way, Johnny knows this. Okay, first of all, we know there's an Asian culture. So if you look at this sheet, Brian, and you say, hey, I need to tweak this or that because of Asians, yeah, we make adjustments. It's not like I'm here to listen to all my team, whatever they say, but I don't like to teach on theory. If somebody comes into the team and says, hey, let's do this and this, I'm like, okay, you practice on your own friends. When you win, you have 100 SPDs like me, then we'll implement it. You know what I mean? It's like, we don't just do anything, right? Does that make sense, Brian?
Yes, results speak louder than words.
Right. Right. So anybody that's teaching in our convention in August is not on theory. They're winning. So let me tell you this real quick because I want to show you this little,
Okay.
it's more about how you qualify through the ranks. And I got 1-star director is where it really hits the question. So look what I did. Gina drew this for me. That's why it's so clean up here. Okay. It's a little bit, I got a light on it. So you see
It's
a little
okay.
bit, but it's okay. All right. Now, okay. So right here, 1-star director. If I just jump ahead here, when I look at it, I've already told you about 1-star manager, 2-star manager is just points. When you get to 3-star manager, you need one leg of 1,000 points. So let's just say this leg here is 1,500 points. If you had 1,500 points, okay, in one leg, and you hit the 2,500 in volume, so that means you have to have total in your own binary, I mean, in your own personal volume, you need 2,500 points and one leg that has at least 1,000 points. So if I sponsor Brian and he gets to 1,500 points and total in my group with all of you, I have 2,500 points, then I'm a 3-star manager. Okay. Now where it gets a little tricky is when it gets to 1-star director. So that's why I put up here 1-star director. I just want to show you how it works and you might have some questions. So you're building your binary. I put your sponsor up here. So let's just say my sponsor is here. So my right leg would be my shared leg with my sponsor. So they're putting people down here. Okay. And then you've got your right leg and your left leg. Now that draws out over here in the unilevel. So this is my right team. So this team here is right here. And this team here is right here. Okay. So I drew out how they're building. Okay. Now, in order to go 1-star manager, you need 5,000 points. Okay. So you need to have 5,000 total points. So if you notice here, I'll give you the end result first. This leg over here has qualified for 4,500 points, but because this leg here has over 2,500 points, it has 3,000. I can only count 2,500 in one leg. So if you look at the plan, it says I can only count 2,500 points in one leg. That's the max I can count of my legs. So I have a total over here, you can see it, of 4,500 points, but I can only count 4,000 because 1,500 and 2,500 equal 4,000 points. Okay. Then over here, I have two legs at 500 points, and that's where I got the 1,000, which totals 5,000 points. Okay. So when you're reading this plan, when you're doing 1-star, now after you do 1-star and you get it, it's the same all the way through. They just up the numbers. So but once you get 1-star, you understand that you don't need to really know anything because it's all the same. It's just instead of 5,000, the next ranked 2-star director, you need 10,000. You're going to need 10,000 points. Okay. So you just have to lay the plan out the same way. But once you get it all the way through. So at the beginning, it looks a little difficult looking at that, but once you get it, you got it for the whole plan. So let's keep focused on 1-star director. So you need a total of 5,000 points. Okay. You can only count one leg, no more than one of your legs you can only count up to 2,500 is the most in one leg. So this leg has 3,000 points. So it would be my A leg. Okay. And it's got 3,000 points, but I can only count 2,500 points over on the binary, which is my left leg. And then 1,500 here. So that equals 4,000 points. Now, when you look at this plan, these two legs have to be at least at 1,000 points. You can't just add all the volume up. They're teaching us how to create leaders. So Brian, I must be running numbers through Brian's team. It's not just about having a bunch of people signed up and nobody's leading anyone. They want you to be leading people. I love this, Brian, because if you take this all the way through the plan, you're going to end up with two, more like 3 legs, but the third one can be a combo, like I'm going to explain. But they have to be solid organizations, which is a legacy business for you and for the company. Because if the company has all these people winning, like I have 2 of my legs, the leaders that I sponsored, do not know how many SPDs they have in their group. They lost count. That is a legacy leg. You know what I mean? When you have people that are so many winners, so many of the highest ranked, they don't even know how many they got in their team. That's amazing in 34 months. So let's keep going. Now, this is the left leg. So you see how I got the 4,000 points. How do I get my 1,000 points? Okay. So this part right here where it says 1,000 outside largest leg volume or binary, Johnny, what's the word again?
Balance, binary balance.
Balance binary. Okay. So what they're saying is they want to make sure, and here's the reason why. When you're building a left and a right, okay, what happens is when you have this shared leg, so many people get put in this shared leg that most of the people only build on their pay leg, okay, because that's where you're going to get the 10% of your lesser leg, okay? So the issue is that you need to keep having people be put down this leg every day, and they got to be you got to help the people make money. So this forces us to create some volume on the other side. Not all the volume, just 1,000 points. Because if you don't have that, the leg can dry up and then it flip-flops and people lose money. So I want to make sure it's strong for everybody. So here on your right side, they let you add it up. It could actually, here in this case, I have two 500-point legs. So here's one leg, here's the other leg. That's where I got the 1,000 points over here. Okay. So now it could be 5 legs. Let's see, 20, 40, 60, 80. So it could be 5 legs at 200 points. You get what I'm saying? You can add it up, but it's better to stay focused. I like to say, Johnny, you remember me? I like to say, put 20 people to the right and 20 people to the left. You're looking for 3 solid legs, but 2 other ones in the hopper. So I would say, like, if you're looking at my legs right here, this is my A leg, okay? This is my B leg because it's got 1,500 points, C leg, and then I got a D leg. So I've got 4 legs right there. If you see this one starting a little bit, so that would be my E leg. So I've got 5 legs that could possibly build. It's very difficult to build much more than 5 legs because your goal is to help I got to help all these people. Like on here, we just got started with Johnny and I got 30 plus people already on the Zoom. You see what I mean? If Rosa gives me, if I do a meeting with Rosa and I do a meeting with Tenzin, I do a meeting with Brian, with Fabian, you see what I mean? Like I'm already busy right here. You see what I mean? So it's very difficult if you build it right to build more than 5 legs. Get what I'm saying? So, I want to give you insider information that I told Johnny last night. This is huge. Okay. When I first heard of the plan and they were explaining it to me, these enhancements, and they said, we're only going to make sure people have to have a guaranteed 2 legs and their 3rd leg can be a combo. I'm like, Johnny knows me already. Gina, my wife, Gina and I, and again, I'm not taking the credit, but we have the most legs with volume of over 100,000 points per leg than anybody in the entire Lifeway. Okay. We only did it in 30 months. They've been doing it for 20 years. Okay. So I'm used to building many legs, 3 legs, 6 legs. Brian, this is personal legs. 12 legs, 9 legs, 12 legs, 15, 20 legs. That's how I went crown in Monavie. Legs. So already I'm doing the same thing here. Okay. So when they said only 3, I'm like, this doesn't seem right. We're all going to be at the same rate because Brian's going to find 3 people that are going to blow it up. So is Tenzin. But Tenzin, I don't care at this point in my life. If they make it easier for my friends and we're all at the same rank, as long as you are all making money, then I'm going to be making money and we can have a blast. Okay. So I backed off. You know what they said to me, Brian? They said the reason why we can only build 3 legs is because the Asian countries said that they will cry, they will go crazy, they will quit if they have to build more than 3 legs. I said, this is first mover advantage. I said, oh my gosh, that is telling me. Now, I didn't tell nobody in the meeting, only myself I'm talking to. I said, that is telling me that everywhere in Asia, nobody knows what they're doing, because I've never met an Asian that can't build more than 3 legs. It's incredible what we have our hands on. Nobody knows what they're doing. So I backed off and said, okay, I don't know if you ever heard this terminology, Johnny, but in all the years of networking, the more legs that you have that you're building. So here I'm showing you legs on the right, legs on the left, right? I've already got like 15 legs equal 20 million. This is me, okay, in 30 months, okay? So they call it spinning plates, Brian. So that means I got to come over here and help Brian's team. Then I got to help Tenzin's team, Rosa's team, Johnny's team. You see, you're spinning plates. You got a lot of plates to spin. Not many people can do this, okay? So when they said only 3 legs, I'm like, okay, this is going to be amazing, because all my friends have to do is find 3 people and build their teams down to infinity as far as they can. If you look on the plan, the bigger you make your legs, okay, the bigger you make those 3 legs, the more money you make in the plan. So you don't have to keep finding more legs. Now, if you want to, you can, and you get paid more in the leadership pool with more legs, but you don't have to make millions, just 3 legs. And actually the 3rd leg can be a combo like this, okay? So the only thing you have to do is you got to stay, you have to have that binary balance. And I explained why, because you want to make sure that that people are contributing to that, and they're not just stealing from the binary. By the way, Brian, that's a legacy for our company, because we don't want when the binary dries up, that means the company's not doing so good. So we don't want that for our company either. So this is very good for long-term results for everybody. So does anybody have a question on the 1-star director? Because after you understand 1-star director, 2-star is the same thing with bigger numbers. You just keep doing it. Does anyone have a question?
Anybody have any question? Yes.
Yeah, I have a question here. Steve, PV
Yeah.
here.
Yeah.
Now I have a member who just signed up. He's a father, and he's very eager and excited to sign up his 2 daughters. So he's seeking advice from me whether to let her daughter, he will sponsor her first daughter, and then her first daughter will sponsor her second daughter. Is it all right to put them in one line, or like you say, you should sponsor one left, one right? So what is your suggestion for that?
Did you say daughter?
Yeah, he has
Or
2
daughter.
daughters.
Okay.
Yeah, he has 2
I
daughters.
just let you
So
know, just to let you know, this is how I do it. Okay. If this is the doctor, I sponsor my kids. I personally sponsor all my kids, but I put them underneath each other, so they all get credit for building their own business. I mean,
Okay.
they all get credit for their own, they all get to work together, but they're their own business underneath me. So I would suggest that he puts them on the same side, because he knows he's a doctor. He knows everybody. So you don't have to worry about not having enough people. He should put his 2 daughters. He sponsors them both personally, but he puts them underneath each other. The way I did it was, my kids weren't even, sometimes they're not so happy about this, but I did it in order, because how else are you going to do it? I put it, whoever's the oldest is on the top, and then down to the youngest. So my son is the youngest. He got on the bottom, but don't worry, he's got millions of people underneath him now, or hundreds of thousands of people underneath him.
I
But
see.
that's the only way, really fair way to do it, is who's the oldest, and put the younger one underneath her.
I see.
I didn't let this, I mean, he can either sponsor them or have the daughter sponsor one, but then that really gets a little dicey, because who gets to sponsor who? So if he sponsors them both, but he puts them in the same line, it's perfect. And Rosa, is it PV? Is that your name? Penny, what's your name? PV?
Phoebe. Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, I'm
So
Phoebe. See? Yeah.
is that like Peter and then Victor? PV?
No,
PV?
Phoebe.
CV. Okay, CV. I want to say something.
Phoebe.
Okay, listen. Listen to this.
Okay.
Uh, this is a very good question, and you just answer him with confidence like I did. Say, hey, this is the best way to do it. You can even say, hey, this is how Steve did it, and he's the number one guy in the whole company. He personally sponsored one daughter and then put the other daughter. I have 3 daughters and a son, so you just do the same thing. He sponsors his 2 daughters, and now as he keeps putting people underneath him, they all count for my kids, and his kids.
Awesome. All right, got it. Thanks, Steve.
Here's kind of real quick on that subject. If you're at a church and people from the church, like let's just say Brian goes to church with me in Tenzin, but they're both my friends, but they know a lot of people in the church. I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to put Brian and Tenzin on the same side because now they can sponsor people and they all get to, because look, Tenzin's got to put somebody underneath Brian, all right? And Brian's got to put somebody else. So everybody from the church is all going to be around each, kind of close together. Now, if I met Tenzin through Brian, so Brian and me are friends, we're playing basketball, and he's got a friend named Tenzin, then when I call Brian and say, hey, let's talk to Tenzin, because Brian led me to Tenzin, I'm putting him underneath Brian. He's going to be his personal, but I help Brian sponsor him. So you don't want to take, you don't ever want to take everybody, because if they led you, like if somebody led me to somebody from someone else, I want to make sure that they're their sponsor, but I'll help them sponsor them.
One question.
Go ahead.
So I got it. So another question is, if let's say now he put the 2 daughters under one leg, so he cannot get to be the first manager, star manager, right? So he needs to sponsor another one on the other leg to get the first star manager
Right.
bonus.
It's going to slow him down, but it's his daughters. He's got plenty of other people. So yes, he still has to put somebody on the other side, but he's halfway to 2-star manager because he already got somebody over there. You know what I mean?
Okay.
So look on the
Okay,
bright
got
side.
it.
But it's kind of like you don't want to just, even though you want to get to the first rank quick, talk to his cousin, talk to a coworker, talk to somebody, and put them on the one side and the daughters on the other. Now you're 1-star manager, then do one more and you're 2-star.
Okay. Okay, understand.
But in the meantime, just we don't wait for the new plan to be implemented, Brian. When that happens, great. It's just going to be more money. But in the meantime, we just go to work and put 2 right, 2 left. So if I sponsor Brian, my first goal is to get him manager, 2 right, 2 left. Then I want to help his 2 guys on each side, each of them go manager.
Okay.
One on the right, one on the left.
Hi,
Yeah.
Steve.
Thanks, Steve.
Hi, Steve. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, this is Tenzin.
Go ahead.
I happened to meet a guy today. He's about 70-some years old, and I think more than half of his life he's been in this industry. The reason I met him because he been in this industry for quite some time, and he had a lot of downline, and he a high rank in the company now. And I was thinking to introduce him the LiveWave. And what do you suggest that how can I work together with the person like this? Try to get some of the subscriber to join us.
Okay, I want to tell you this. This is a little inside information. Johnny, make a note of it, and I'll connect you with my person that helps me. But many people are looking at LifeWave and they want to come in because they see the potential, even though they're in another network. When he comes in, first of all, what's interesting is that when I was in the other company that I couldn't sponsor anybody, the minute I got to Jeunesse, everybody seemed to want to get in. It's like the people were waiting for me to make a move or make a change. Then everybody gets in. So this is very interesting to him. And he doesn't have to go after the people that are in that business. There's plenty of people. Everyone's stem cells are going dormant. So let him know that anyone that's not with him there he can sponsor here. And a lot of these leaders, they're Johnny knows what I mean. They're like collecting a check because they're not really building because nobody's getting in with them. So this is a really good thing that they have something that people get in with them. But what's interesting is that they've got you, Tenzin, they got Brian, they got Johnny, me. If they let us to Bob, we can help Bob, even though they're still at the other network, or even if they can't do so much, we can be helping them build their business with little bit of whatever they can only. If they don't have a lot of time to give us, we'll help their people. So sell them on that. Say, hey, we got a great team of people. We got the number one, use me as leverage. We got the number one guy in the company and in the networking, building our team. And the number one Malaysian leader that I've ever met in my life is Johnny. And all of us working together, we can help build your team with little bit of effort you're going to give us. The more you give us, the more it'll go faster. So that's a good pitch to help everybody. And because it's so simple, I mean, it's your stem cells. They're going dormant. You don't want it. I don't care who you are. You want this technology on your body. So that's a very easy message, and it's very intriguing, and everybody wants to hear that. So that's why it's so easy to sponsor people. And that's going to, and we could help him build his business. So anybody, you're going to find there's a lot of people that are looking, many, many people. That's what I found. I've never seen this in 34 months that this many people are looking. That's why you have to, Rosa, even though you're into wellness, you got to talk about opportunity, because a lot of people are sick because they're broke. Their finances are bad. They're sick. So you got to think about this. Now remember, if you have more questions, we can talk. Johnny knows how to get a hold of me. Brian does. So we'll this is just one of many Zooms, but at least I'm going after. I love the fact that I drew this out, and Johnny pitch in with me. When you see it on the board here, now you see that every single rank just falls into line with the numbers, but it's the same concept. Because once you find your A leg, you're just going to keep driving it down. Now, Tenzin, don't ever stop personally sponsoring. That's a rule in networking. That's why I teach 20 right, 20 left. Because you might sponsor the next Steve Merritt that goes to the highest rank in 23 days. You know what I mean? And you can't stop me. So you don't know who you're going to talk to. You don't ever want to, even though you're building these 3 legs, all of a sudden, this guy here could turn into your A leg in 23 days. You know what I mean? That's why you just keep going. You work with what you got, but you keep talking and listening and sponsoring people, because you don't know who's going to just take off. So I think we talked a long time. It's almost 2 hours. Let's wrap this one up. And then I'm going to make a video like this. I got to get Gina to redraw the board, and we'll do a video. But I think once you see this part of the plan, you'll see, and I'm probably going to, Johnny, go through every segment, like the binary, how 10% of your lesser leg works. If you have 1,000 points on one side, 300 on the other, you're going to make $30 that week. And then the 700 extra points roll over. I'll explain each one in like 2-3 minutes. So we have each part of the new plan drawn out so that everybody can understand it. And I've already made a video for the first 21 days. Denson, you can make $1,216 if you follow this 21-day fast start plan, 21 people in 21 days. I mean, nobody can make this in a normal company. You can't make that kind of money that quickly. So I already made the video to explain this. So all this will be coming out, but because it's just the thing that I don't like about when the company has to launch and tell the plan before it goes, I don't like people to wait in limbo because it's too big here. We still got to put 20 right, 20 left. So put 20 right, 20 left, help everyone that wants to go manager, because that's going to set everybody up for all these options when we have the new plan comes in the next 45 days.
How soon can we get the copy?
Yeah, I think I sent the PDF to Johnny, but I'm not sure. But I'll make sure he gets it. And Johnny, between you and my daughter, we'll get it translated to Chinese.
Okay,
so
okay.
Johnny,
One
anything
last
I need
question.
to say? Okay, go ahead.
One last question. Just a couple days ago, my downline had feedback to me. There was they saw in Malaysia Shopee, they are what do you call it, product dumping? They're selling much lower price.
Okay.
Very, very low price. So I don't know who to report to, but since you brought it up just now.
Let me, Johnny has it, but because I'm not real good on the chat on these things, Brian, my email is steve@stevemerritt.com. It's very simple. I have 2 R's and 2 T's in my name. MERRITT.com. So steve@stevemerritt.com. It's better to send it to me. And if maybe Johnny and Brian can put like a WhatsApp group with
Okay.
people, we can add them as we want. But
Okay.
send me the email. And then, when we make the WhatsApp group, Tenzin,
Mm.
get my number and just text me personally, because you don't want to put in the chat, I found this dumping site. It's negative, you know what I mean, to people. You just
Yes.
tell me, say, Steve, I just sent you an email. Can you make sure it gets to the right people? And we will get them down. Now, there's two things about this. Tenzin, if you or me went on the Shopee and put our name on there, Steve Merritt,
Mm.
Dr. Chu would see that and terminate me right away.
Mm.
But the problem is that these people are very crafty and sneaky. Johnny knows. When they're a professional dumper, they put ABC name. They don't even, they know how to hide their names and all this stuff. And they're probably not even a distributor. So that takes a little bit longer, but they will get them off the Shopee. It just takes a little bit of time to figure some of them out. But we're going to make sure we do that.
All right.
I also wanted to tell you that Johnny is coming here with a bunch of leaders. If anyone else wants to come and you can get your visa and everything you need to come to America, we're going to the world headquarters. Okay. We're going to meet with the corporate team and we're going to be making some videos and we're going to really let everyone know. The fact that Johnny is coming here, I have to commend him, that just sets the precedence that's how serious this team is to make this happen. Okay. I'm in Florida right now, so I'm going to be flying to Utah to meet everybody there, and we're going to have a blast. It's only like a quick 3-4 day adventure, but we're going to take and make sure that we have it documented and all the information so people can see that we're serious, and any questions we have, we might even do like a quick Zoom with anybody in Malaysia from the corporate headquarters for 15, 20 minutes, just to let everyone know we're there and to see how serious we are. Because this really sets a precedence. And by the way, before 5 months ago, Brian, we could never go to world headquarters. They didn't have one. Interesting. And also, Tenzin, I wanted to tell you that, Johnny, I think this is really interesting. When you go 2-star executive anywhere around the world, they fly you into world headquarters for 4 to 5 days, and you experience Park City and world headquarters. And my home is right there where they fly you into Park City. I have a home that I only bought it because I heard they were going to do this program. And they used to do it in Montevideo, but when you're in Asia, they only took you to like somewhere in like the Malaysia headquarters or whatever, or like a little spot. I talked these guys into saying, no, but when I travel Malaysia, Brian, I've been to Kuching 27 times, but most of the people in Kuching never been to America. So if you can say, hey, the company has a program that when you hit, not only do we have 4 other free trips, they also have this one that when you hit the highest, you hit the mid-tier rank of 2-star executive, they fly you into world headquarters. That's a very neat, what do you call, like, incentive for someone to join, because they would get to come to America. They fly 2 people into America to world global headquarters, and they get, well, I'm going to bring them to my house. So that's a new incentive, Tenzin, that we have. So we'll take these videos and say, hey, here's the kind of trip you can have, because that's where we're going to be, because Park City is very close to my house, where we're going to be, where Johnny and his leaders are going to be. So if anyone wants to come, we still have, there's still time to come. It's going to be, he's leaving on the 28th or 29th of June. So, and they're setting everything up at world headquarters for our meeting on June 30th. So let's break, and Brian, we could do this again with a whole nother, like if all of us want to come on and we do another group of 20 people,
Okay.
more, let's say we could do 50 people, 100 people. Everybody just keeps bringing on people, and maybe we could do it every day, or we could do it once a week or whatever. We just keep doing it. Because I mean, it's good to leverage myself to say, hey, we're working with Steve, the #1 guy in Lifeway. You know what I mean?
Good.
And then I'm going to build up all the leaders that we have here. Like, Johnny and Samantha are my friends for a long time. Brian and me got history. When you have history together, like Brian knew that when I said, Steve, come on at 9 o'clock my time, I was here. That's very interesting because if you don't know the people, you test it out the first 2 times to see if it worked, if they're for real. But because we got history, we can win faster, Rosa, in a much faster way.
Good.
Okay. So, anyways, love you guys. Excited to be partnered up with you. Can't wait to get on the next Zoom and see a bunch of you in Utah in a couple weeks. And don't take lightly. Go to thisisitconvention.com. I will get it translated in Chinese. Johnny will tell me which language we want, and I'll get it translated. And we'll put as many as you possibly can on the training. It could be a virtual. If anyone of you want to come in person, being in the fire is more powerful than there. I have the hotel that the entire event is at. It's a package. You can come there and stay, everything. Like for one couple, Brian, for 2 people to come to the entire thing with a hotel and the training and the Saturday banquet, not all the food, but the Saturday banquet is only $1,070 for 2 people to stay in a hotel right where the event is going to be. It is sold out, but I have some extra rooms that I put aside for Johnny's team if anyone wants to come. That's August 8th through the 10th. The 10th is actually our non-denominational church service where my pastor is going to be teaching. So it's going to be very powerful coming up in August. We will have it virtually too, but there's nothing like being in the fire if you want to meet and shake David Schmidt's hand, Meredith Burkich, the president, and many other people. So that's just give you a heads up. Go to that website so you know. Tenson, can you make a screenshot of the Shopee and send it to me on the email so I can get moving on that?
Sure, no problem.
Okay. All right, guys. It's exciting to be partnered up with it. We're just getting started. You can tell that I'm fired up. Everybody.
Thank you very
We
much.
are also fired up.
Thank you very much, Steve.
Love
Thank
you.
you. Bye.
Thank you.